Okay, sup, you chuckle fucks, it's your boy, Dark Raku here with What If Issei was cheated on and betrayed and reincarnated Vergil Sparta and had the system. Now, that's a long ass title, and I am just going to shorten it down towards you can just read it in the fucking title. Mostly when I upload it. But yeah. Now, this is part 4. I should also mention that I've kind of been sneezing a lot, thanks to the fact I've been cutting grass in the morning. So yeah. Or I'm probably just sick. But I don't feel sick. But not the point. Let me get into the what if. Let me shut the fuck up. I also gotta go to sleep kind of early because, well, I have a dentist appointment. Tomorrow. So yeah, I'm gonna make this just extremely short. And if you complain about it, shut the hell up. Now, not the point. Let me just begin. Okay. Now, yes, he made another thumbnail, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie. For me, I just never make different thumbnails. If I have to make a different thumbnail, it's just probably because I thought of changing it. For me, I just use the same one, but I guess this guy wants me to, like, do multiple change it thumbnails. I don't know. But not the point. Let me just begin into what if. I know I'm just rambling on right now. But yeah, I've been just too tired and too much bullshit to, mostly do anything. But yeah. Well, let me begin. So, we begin into mostly Issei, mostly Issei slash Vergil, right now fighting against someone with kind of golden armor. This golden armor figure, seems to be like a dungeon boss. This is where, Issei right now say boost! This is where his sacred gear, the boosted gear, appears and punching the shit out of, this person with golden armor, launching him into the wall. This golden armor figure gets up and right now looks at mostly Issei with narrow eyes. Or, he doesn't have golden armor, but red ruby armor. This is where he has like something on top of his head. This is where, he also has a cape and has a large sword. Has multiple, mostly 2 daggers next to his side. Mostly the left side, mostly kind of in the back. This is where, he's fighting against, Issei. This is where, he rushes at Issei with blinding speed. Right now, swinging his sword straight towards Issei to try to cut his head off. This is where Issei uses the boosted gear to block the attack. Luckily, the sword didn't pierce through or even get through the boosted gear. This is where Issei gets launched into the wall and right now coughing up a little bit of blood. This is where, mostly Drake says, Issei, are you okay? This is where Issei says, stop calling me by that name. Again, it's Vergil. Yeah, I'll understand. I'll understand if you let me call you Issei for just a couple more times. This is where, Issei says, shut up, you overgrown lizard, for a second. I'm trying to think. This is where, the red armor figure really didn't let Issei kind of mostly figure out time or anything and rushes straight towards Issei trying to cut him down. This is where Issei says, Yamato! This is where he uses his double bringer to bring out Yamato to block the sword slash from mostly, the figure. This is where, Issei gets kind of pushed back, or mostly he doesn't get pushed back. He managed to kind of like block the attack, and since it's not fully kind of the blade kind of connected with, the sword that mostly this person has, the red armor figure, it seems to kind of not be able to cut the blade fully. So, of course, this is where he's just blocking it by the side of the blade. This is where, he's not trying to cut through it, because mostly Yamato is allowed to cut anything. But, yeah. This is where, Issei tries to push mostly this person up, but this person is a little bit much more stronger physically than Issei. This is where Issei's getting pushed down, but this is where the figure then kicks him in the stomach, right now launching him straight into multiple walls. Or mostly multiple pillars. 2 pillars entirely. And they're pretty big. They're like, at least the pillars are kind of like, I'm going to say like 10 feet. 10 feet wide with, like 20 to 25 feet tall. But yeah, this is where he gets launched through them. And of course, this is where, he coughed up some blood. Of course, his ribs are hurting. This is where he looks straight towards mostly the figure. Right now, Issei is kind of level, this is where, mostly, we go into mostly Issei being level 45 right now. Yes, he's been training for a couple more months, or mostly a couple more weeks, and of course he got into, 45 by going into multiple dungeons. Right now in this dungeon, he's fighting against mostly the figure kind of pop up the name underneath this red crimson figure. This crimson figure is named Icarus. Yes, Icarus. This is where, well, Issei right now kind of still has Yamato with him. Of course, he's just using it to kind of like be a crutch, and this is where, well, he gets up, managing to pull himself up, and this is where he still has Yamato in his hand, mostly in his, well, left hand, with what's it called, the boosted gear being in his right hand. This is where, well, Issei said, "Hey, Red Dragon." This is where, well, Drake says, "Yes? Do you need something?" Issei says, "What else can I do with the boosted gear? Instead of just gifting powers straight towards random people." This is where, well, mostly Drake says, "Well, you can keep boosting up your powers every 10 seconds, or you can use Balance Breaker." This is where he says, "The fuck is Balance Breaker?" A form that mostly... It's a connected with your emotions. Right now, you don't have many emotions, so that's why you can't really access it that well. He says, "Seriously? Oh, this is complete bullshit. I'm gonna die, literally." Does it work? Well, Issei kind of just says, "Seriously, this sucks." This is where Issei just says, "Whatever." This is where the boosted gear starts boosting up. Boost! This is where Issei then rushes straight towards, well, mostly the... well, Crimson Red figure being Icarus. Icarus right now swings his sword straight towards Issei. Issei manages to slide down, and right now tries to cut at Icarus' arm. This is where Icarus manages to jump up, and right now tries to throw the sword down, mostly his long sword down, straight towards Issei. Issei notices, and this is where Issei then uses the boosted gear in Issei's mostly red dragon shot to try to blast the long sword away, which he does manage to. But this is where Icarus lands down the ground right in front of Issei, right now sending a powerful kick into his face, right now launching him into mostly the pillar again. Another pillar, but yeah. This time Issei was just really damaged from his teeth. He's bleeding from his mouth, and this is where, well, Issei like spits out some blood, and this is where he says, "You annoying bastard." This is where, well, Issei still has Yamato in his hand, and this is where, well, Issei didn't notice was called Icarus without mostly a weapon, but this is where, well, Issei landed down the ground. This is where, well, Issei said, "Fine, let me show you what I can do." This is where, well, so we go into mostly Issei kind of, well, activating a skill. We go, well, also, I should mention one thing. All his passion skills are actually level 2 to level 3. But yeah, that's what I mean. And also, mostly his demonic skin is resistant to diamond weapons. Just regular diamond weapons. Not magic imbued diamond weapons. So that's what he's mostly resistant to. Just regular diamond weapons. Now, of course, this is where he activates a skill called mostly Duplicate. And also Mirage Blades. This is where, well, Issei kind of is rushing straight towards mostly, well, now, Icarus. This is where Icarus right now rushes straight towards Issei and trying to cut down mostly the Mirage, well, not Mirage Blades, mostly the, duplicates. This is where, well, before even cutting down the duplicates, Issei managed to kind of gift, mostly, let me say it again. Use the boosted gear to gift straight towards the duplicates, because they're not as powerful as like the original. But this is where, well, since they're level, mostly duplicate is now level 3, they are kind of as original, stronger, but not that strong. But this is where, well, they are as kind of similar kind of strong as, well, Issei, but this is where they become much stronger with the boosted gear gift. This is where, well, they activate Mirage Blades, and this is where they try to attack mostly Bar, well, Icarus. Icarus managed to dodge and, of course, use mostly one of the daggers from his back to right now throw it at mostly the duplicate while cutting him, well, hitting him in the head, mostly the duplicate, right now poofing him away. And this is where the other one tries to attack mostly Icarus, with Icarus couldn't dodge from the Mirage Blades that mostly this clone of mostly Issei could do. This is where, well, Icarus was about to get hit. This is where he then used something called mostly... So it's called Domainer Touch, or yeah, Domainer Touch Hand or whatever. And this is where, well, he brings the bigger, like, sword, mostly the long sword, back into his, like, hand, which he managed to, like, cut first, which it first, like, came behind mostly the clone Issei, and of course managed to cut him from the back. And of course, this is where Icarus managed to grab in his right hand, but this is where he didn't notice Issei behind him. Issei says, "Surprise, motherfucker." Issei right now slashes at Icarus' back with Yamato, and this is where Icarus fell down to the ground. This is where Icarus right now lifting himself up, but this is where he feels like he doesn't have a spine no more, which he doesn't in the first place, but you get the point. This is where, well, Icarus tries to, turn around fast enough so he can actually, get Issei from the head. But this is where his left arm was actually instantly cut by Issei. Issei managed to just use the duplicate to actually distract, Icarus, so he can boost himself up for 4 times. And then right now speed up and blitz, Icarus. This is where Issei's skills and speed is pretty good. But this is where, well, still at the same time, Icarus is a little bit much stronger than him, but yeah. This is where Icarus tries to slam mostly a kick into Issei, but this is where Issei noticed the kick, and this is where, well, he uses the Yamato to literally cut it in half. Mostly cut his, leg. This is where, well, Icarus right now tries to swing his sword, the last remaining object, well, mostly just object, by just swinging the sword down straight towards Issei's head. Issei notices, and this is where Issei couldn't really react fast enough, but this is where Issei then activates a skill called Shadow Reality, or mostly not Shadow Reality, he activates Shadow Reality and Lightning Dash, allowing him to also mostly dash so fast. Mostly, it's similar to that of sprint towards mostly Sanjin Wu. But instead of being like that, mostly similar to Sanjin Wu, it's much faster than sprint. It's called Lightning Dash, where literally he just transforms into lightning. Think of it like, what's it called? What was that one guy's name from Demon Slayer? Zangetsu? No, not Zangetsu. Zenitsu. Yeah, Zenitsu, where he can do lightning fall dash, whatever bullshit. Think of it like that, where he just pop, 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 pop. Yeah, Issei can do something similar to that. But this is where, well, Shadow Reality allows him to kind of also put the theme song in the background, called Bury the Light Within, and this is what I mean. So yeah, he activated that mostly theme song, being the passion skill, and this is where, well, Issei right now managed to cut Icarus into millions of pieces. This is where, well, Issei then, well, sheep back the Yamato into the sheath, and this is where, well, the Yamato was glowing a reddish color, but at the same time becoming purple instead. This is where it was blue, red, and then becoming purple entirely, like a dark purple. This is where, well, Issei's one of his eyes did become kind of draconic. One of his eyes did become kind of greenish color, since he was using the boosted gear. But the other eye decided to start becoming much more brighter for blue color. But mostly, the same time, both eyes decided to become a darker purple for mostly a little, mostly slight of, well, mostly just like a glimpse. But that was just because mostly Issei's health. Issei's health is not what you would think. He's actually only at 100 HP. Yeah, he was pretty fucking hurt. This is where, well, he coughed up some blood, but this is where he managed to defeat Icarus. This is where, well, Issei then noticed something pop right on top of him, and that is basically a timer that he has to survive, and the most survive points that he gets a job. This is where, well, Issei says, what the fuck do you mean? This is where, well, Issei is confused, but this is where multiple swords started appearing. Multiple, armor swords started appearing, being either gold, diamond, brass, whatever. Just a bunch of soldiers, even mages. This is where Issei says, are you fucking serious? This is where, well, Issei tries to cut them down, but this is where, well, he was about to die, mostly. Wait, let me say that again. So he was about to die, but this is where, well, before him dying, for some reason he felt like he was in the desert, which he was. He literally appeared in the desert because he forgot to train. Because Drake was actually complaining to him before he can do his daily training requests or any of that. So that's why he couldn't really do it mostly in the morning. But yeah. But this is where, well, what she can basically just kind of tell is probably the morning when he did it, but yeah, or whatever. But this is where, well, Issei kind of just sees a bunch of centipedes trying to attack him, but this is where he then uses his, well, mostly Yamato again, and just say lightning dash, shadow reality, to cut them all down in an instant. This is where he starts leveling up. But this is where, well, Issei starts kind of healing up by buying potions online, but yeah. Now, of course, Drake doesn't even know where he even gets these potions or anything because he can't see the system exactly. Mostly the system will not allow Drake to see Issei, mostly the system or any of that. But this is where, well, we go into mostly Issei managing to defeat mostly the centipedes. And of course, this is where, well, he didn't use the lightning dash. He used something called V Blue Lightning Flames, which literally pop around him because he mostly got so angry with the centipedes. This is where, well, he destroys them in an instant, and of course his flames literally level up one time, just into level 2. This is where, well, he was confused, but mostly his sacred gear became a bluish color for a second. A bluish with lightning kind of patterns for a second. This is where it just became back to red. But yeah. This is where Drake notices because mostly his scales became a color similar to that of Issei's, but then changes back to normal. This is where, well, Drake is confused, but then we just go on to Issei. Issei level up just starts kind of just getting all his help, but this is where we go back into mostly Issei after 4 hours, getting back towards his like job, specialty, or whatever. This is where, well, we go into Issei right now fighting against, well, mostly the soldiers, and also finding the mages much faster than mostly Song would, but yeah, because Drake actually helped him. This is where, well, Issei uses his basically these blue lightning flames to just annihilate all the soldiers and then finding, well, the mages and destroying them in an instant with his sword, or even using a dragon shot, but yeah. But this is where, well, we go into Issei's job, appearing right in front of him. But this is where, well, it glitched out. There was actually supposed to be 3 jobs for him to select. This is where it said, it had, what's it called, swordsman, mage, or even what's it called, tank. But yeah. But this is where it glitched out in an instant because Issei couldn't even pick out any of them. This is where, well, it had, well, swordsman and other things, but this is where, well, it started glitching out in an instant. This is where, well, there was, instead of being those 3, this is where it then appears, mostly, shit. This is where, well, it appears mostly 3 different classes that he won't be able to choose at all. Because mostly it was literally automatically chosen in an instant. This is where these 3 classes are. First class is basically called Demon Hunter. Not Demon Slayer, Demon Hunter. This is like, or not Demon Hunter Slayer, no. It was first, mostly swordsman, yes, that's literally his like second, like mostly first class swordsman, but this is where it automatically changed to Demon Hunter. But yeah, this is where, well, that's his like first class, mostly job. So these are basically his 3 class jobs. So mostly the first job was called Swordsman, but this is where it changes into automatically Demon Hunter. The second one was Mage, but then it just changes to Dragonkin, making him actually, well, like half dragon or something, like a baby dragon. But then the last one was Necromancer, then changes to Shadow Lord. This is where, well, Issei says, what the fuck? I don't even use skeletons. This is where, well, he's confused with the Necromancer. He can understand the Dragonkin, because mostly Drake is with him. And he can understand he can't understand the Demon Hunter, but he can understand half of his moves are kind of similar to that of mostly like a devil. But he's just confused. Of course, he doesn't know what's the Shadow Lord thing, but he has it. But yeah. Now, I'll be adding skills later into mostly what all these will do later on, but yeah. I'll probably just make into like 4 separate categories of whatever skills. But yeah, or I'll just put it all jumble mumble because I'm an idiot. But not the point. Let me begin back into this one. But of course, the word, well, Issei kind of like looks down to the soldiers that he managed to slaughter. And this is where he then says, how do I use the Shadow Lord thing? This is where he realized that he can actually arise things from the undead. So of course, this is where he says, arise. This is where, well, he managed to arise the mostly undead. And even when he goes up to Icarus, he then tries to arise him to try to get him into his like soldiers. This is where, well, he managed to arise mostly Icarus in like 2 times because mostly Issei says, Why go and, well, mostly why will you stay with a king that has not been here for a while? Follow me. I am a true. Mostly this is where Issei says, I am a true ruler. I will help protect me instead of waiting for the man that hasn't came back. This is where, well, when he says arise, mostly Icarus appears back into normal, or mostly in front of Issei. This is where, well, now I should mention one thing. The Shadow Soldiers kind of look a little bit different. They're mostly with the bluish tint of lightning flames with them. But yeah, thanks to the fact that mostly this will still be connected to Vergil. But yeah. Now, I might just scrap this idea, but I'm just going to give it because fuck off. Now, let me go back into it, but yeah. Now, of course, well, Issei managed to arise Icarus, and Icarus is basically rank knight, while the other ranks are basically rank soldiers, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei's, some of the mages were rank elite, but yeah. This is where, well, and some of the soldiers, some of the mages were rank elite, but then some of the soldiers were also rank elite. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei then just brought them back into his shadow, and this is where Issei says, well, time to get back towards mostly the base. When he gets back to the base, it wasn't actually, well, it was his base of operation, but this is where, well, there was actually mostly two things that was quite interesting in this place. First, there's two rewards that he actually got. First reward is mostly a key for an S rank dungeon, like a we'll see like a double S rank dungeon, a pretty rare one. And then there was another key that was basically a key to let him outside from this dimension, mostly back into like the real world. Now, of course, Issei was very confused. One key was like a crimson, like dark or red color that would be in the double S rank dungeon, while mostly the other one was mostly this white color to like make him go back to the outside world and try to figure out memories if he wants to do that or what, or where he wants to just keep training. But yeah, this is where, well, mostly Issei looks at both of them and says, what the hell? Hey Drake, what do you think about? But this is where, well, we go into mostly Issei kind of just looking at this, and this is where he then questioned Drake if mostly it's a good idea to go back to the outside world or mostly keep training and maybe get into the double S rank dungeon. This is where, well, Drake just doesn't understand what the system thing, but this is where when he hears Issei talk about mostly going to the outside world from this dimension place, this is where Drake is actually thinking of like bringing Issei back to the place, maybe to get him his memories back. But this is where Drake hesitates because he actually doesn't want Issei to go back. For one reason, because Issei is not strong enough yet. He might be strong right now, he's like 45, but this is where, or level 45. But he then thinks he might not be powerful enough to go outside. He doesn't know if maybe he can go return back. Which it mostly does say that he can return back, mostly the key, but yeah. Or he can just do it by himself by using mostly his sword, but yeah. Because that's actually a technique that he can do, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei then thinks about it and says, you know what, I'll just stay here for a little bit more. This is where, well, we go into mostly 1 month later. Issei is now level 61, of course. Well, yeah. Okay, so I've been sneezing for a while, so I might have to end it off really soon. But let me begin into where I last, when I ended off, was at. So he's level 61 now, and of course he's going back to the human world. Now, we go into mostly Issei kind of like ending up at the human world, but we go into mostly Issei meeting up with someone right in front of him. He's been in the human world for a couple days, I should mention. But this is where Issei has actually met up with someone who was actually eating pizza, and for some reason had a strange, mostly system pop up right in front of him, saying to go up to this person and talk to him. Now, of course, when Issei got close to this person, he met none other than, well, mostly this person had kind of longish, somewhat white hair, kind of a little bit longer than mostly Issei's, but yeah, still shorter. But of course, he had bluish eyes, of course, had a red jacket coat on him, but yeah. This is where, well, he had kind of guns and other things. He also had an interesting demonic signature to him. This is where, well, he also had a draconic signature to him, and of course, this is where, well, when Issei got close to this person, this is where both system alerts actually pop right in front of him. This is where, well, the person that actually popped right in front of him, this is where it says, Hello, when we'll see it, the system says, this is Dante Sparta, also known as um, Sin, I would say his last name later on, but for right now I'm just gonna think of something random. But this is where, well, mostly Dante looks up and also sees mostly Vergil. This is Vergil Sparta, also known as Issei. Now, Issei has gotten back a little bit of his memories, back again, so yeah. This is where both Vergil and Dante just look at each other. This is where, well, both of them just wind their eyes, and when they look up to see, well, each other, both of their eyes connect, and this is where, well, the system then pops up saying, brotherly mostly bonded together. A brother's mostly connection has actually activated, but also a battle between brothers shall start in, well, mostly 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. This is where the system actually activates, and of course, this is where, well, they go into a different dimension entirely, but they're still in the same place, just a little bit everything the system mostly creates, but an artificial kind of place for them. This is where, well, both of them are just standing, and this is how it's basically they're fighting mostly, but yeah. This is how they'll be fighting, but yeah. Wait, damn. So mostly they start kind of the fighting like old times. Mostly since they were like younger in a different dimension, and well, mostly they were younger when they were in their own dimension, and of course when they're older and at the same time now just beginning back again as two brothers fighting. And this is where, well, both of them just start kind of clashing. This is where Issei activated Yamato while mostly Dante activated a rebellion. This is where both of them just start clashing with each other's swords, and this is where, well, Dante activated in his right fist a blue kind of like gauntlet appearing with a red gem, and of course, or not red gem, mostly this is where, well, mostly both of them kind of, well, mostly Dante activated this mostly gauntlet with blue and a red gem in the middle, mostly like gems. This is where Issei activated his like boosted gear, and both of them decide to swing a punch straight towards each other's face, and right now clocking each other in the face. This is where both of them gets pushed back, but this is where both of them activated trigger, mostly not Sin double trigger, just double trigger. This is where both of them rush at each other with full speed, and right now trying to kill each other, or mostly trying to win. But yeah. This is where, well, both of them swings at each other, but this is where I'm actually going to end it off for part, mostly 4 of this what if, because I'm actually keep sneezing over and over and over, and yeah, I just can't really keep going and pausing and stopping and other things. I'm about to sneeze a while, but this is where I'm going to end it off. So yeah, and I also realized that I took a lot about my time, so yeah, you can get the point that I gotta go now. Well, see you and bye, and yeah. So yeah, bye. See ya.